It is understood that the conduct of any elections will require staffing, and GECOM will be required to have an estimated 2,300 polling stations. According to the Chief Elections Officer, the utilization of schools during the weekend across the country for the training of polling day staff will take a minimum of 7 to 9 weeks to ensure adequate training in all regions.
If I start from Parika Salem to the West Coast, 20 teams operating on one weekend, one Saturday, one Sunday. All things being equal, I have the turnout of students or of participants, then one weekend training will be Region 3.
Explaining the reality, the Chief Elections Officer says he cannot run an election in part of Guyana, emphasizing that it is Pan-Guyana.
These staff members got to be trained. One shudders to think if there's going to be a polling station without an attending PO or APU to go there. The decision then will be for someone can very well say, let's close the elections down because GECOM is not ready. We need to understand that fundamentally.
The Chief Elections Officer says when he hears that all of the necessary staff can be trained in 29 and 32 days, it stultifies his own thinking. It was Opposition Leader Bart Jagdeo who suggested that the training of elections staff can be done in a very short period of time. For the local government elections, over 9,000 persons were trained, but those persons have to be retrained for general and regional elections.
So it's not merely taking the LG trained staff and say you're working. My training arrangement must be in place on or before the 21st day before elections. Because the law says on these days the notices of poll must be at each polling station. What obtains at that juncture will be the staff who will be working at that polling station. His first statutory requirement is to ensure that his list for his polling station is properly posted at the location it ought to be.
Any rush to the elections will create many other scenarios that will not be desirous to the Secretariat and the Commission, the Chief Elections Officer noted. He said what the nation does know is that in the conduct of the recent local government elections, there were staffing issues.
We had special training for 3 localities in Region 6, for example. There was a time when we finished training, we had about 4 persons for Crabwood Creek, the NDC of Crabwood Creek. We had to go back, plead with people to be part of the process. And when we would have collected enough applications from the ROD, we were able to do training for Crabwood Creek, NDC. We had some more to get for the 5274. We had to get some more for the Blackbush Pole NDC.
Understanding this reality, says, and not planning effectively will be foolhardy. Handel Duncan, HGP Nightly News.